Hello and welcome. My name is Mary McElhatton. I am your host today for the Permission Mission Show. You are able to watch us broadcasting live on the WWDBTV, Facebook, also website. And if you do have any questions that you'd like to ask during the show today, please do. The number you'll call is 702 992 3207, because this show is about talking about hard stuff. This show is about talking about things that many of us do not like to talk about, including myself. However, I've just have more practice at it. So recently, last year, I purchased a very large purchase with my husband and I. And I don't know about you, but have you ever purchased something and then all of a sudden thought to yourself, how did I miss that? How did I not even think about that before I made this big decision and this purchase? So if you can just imagine outside, there's these beautiful trees with all the leaves, and we have a cherry tree in front of this house. We're looking around, searching for the home. Single story home has been my dream for a long time because it kind of made me think about, if I don't have stairs, then that means I'm kind of getting into the ages that my children have grown up and are moving out of the house. And I don't need stairs anymore. So we're out looking, we come across this home, and what captured my eye first was the beautiful cherry tree in the front yard, blossomed light pink, gorgeous, and the other big, huge tree in the front of the house for shade. And it was just a couple months later that this is actually what we got. Here you go. You see that we never thought about not having the cherry blossoming all through the year, or the beautiful shade in the front yard, because we were more focused on the outside. We were more focused on all of the things that felt good, looked good. And while we did make the right choice, what we forgot to think about is just the foundation of things. Now, why do I bring this up? Because there's a lot of things in life that we seem to know about, but the most important part of this home was the foundation, and to think about all that came along with it. I think we probably would have made the same decision, but we would have been prepared for the cherry tree and all the cherries on the ground, and we would have not been so upset about cleaning them up, because we would have prepared ourselves ahead of time. So a couple other things that go unnoticed is things like Taylor Swift. No one's really going to ever give acknowledgement to the microphone that makes her voice beautiful to win awards, Grammy Awards, right? Taylor will, but not the microphone. Stick with me on this. It's going to make sense in a minute. Rubber on the shoes, the bottom of shoes, running shoes. I'm a runner. I've been a runner for about 25 years. I've slowed down quite a bit. I want to preserve my knees because, again, Permission Mission is about figuring out how to prepare ahead of time, know some things ahead of time, so that we can live our best life and not just be shocked by it when it ends. So the rubbers on the bottom of shoes are not going to get the gold or the medal or the bronze award, right? The person will. Something recent, like the leather football that won the huge Super Bowl Sunday. The Giants will be recognized for the Super Bowl win, not the leather for the ball. Now, these are things that we just simply don't think about. And my point I'm making here today, to tie it all together, is mortality is the same way, right? We just look at people, we look at life every day as if it's going to last forever. We think that we're all immortal. We think that we're going to be here forever. And that's simply not the case. We overlook the foundation of the person who stands there versus always focus just on the outside and how things look and feel, because that's what we're accustomed to doing. I said last week that we're conditioned to not talk about one topic in life that every one of us are going to deal with if we haven't already. And that is the fact that we're all in line together and will be called accordingly. And this show simply is helping us bridge the gap between the two, because at the end of the day, life and death are equally as valuable. And my goal with this show is to make sure that you see that, and that you're not going to be afraid to have a conversation with your kids, that you're not going to be thinking, geez, how did I miss this on the most horrible day of your life, and had no understanding or education about this particular day, because you've watched Permission Mission and because you're calling in or you're putting questions out there on the website. You want to know more about it. You're curious now, like I was at 14 years old. There's no reason for us to ignore this life event. And if we're able to make it a little bit kinder on our families, but also like live our best life, knowing that like the part of me that's overlooked is the inside of me, like the heart that's pumping all the time, or one day that won't. The purpose that I live day to day, wake up every day and so excited about talking about Permission Mission. I was just at the park this morning and run into a gentleman, perfect stranger. But he's not a stranger anymore. We got to talking and he's like, what do you do? And I'm like, I wake up every day and I actually have a show called Permission Mission. And it's about talking about the hard stuff. And the hardest topic that it's about is mortality. And he goes, oh, okay. How do you get excited about that? And I said, because I'm not afraid of it anymore. I'm not afraid that when that day comes, I will have spoken about it. I will have let my kids know that it's important, because I certainly wouldn't leave you stranded when all I've done my whole life is be there for you, help you through hard stuff, make sure that I have my affairs in order, and not let everyone be so shocked that the day I pass, that it could potentially ruin their life. I don't want that. I'm taking all the excuses, I'm taking all the things that really would not make sense as a mother and a grandmother, and just openly, boldly, and proudly speaking about it today while I can. And I know for a fact that many of you who have reached out to me are happy to learn how to not be so afraid of it, because at the end of the day, once we've had the open conversation and continue to have the open conversation, and you know that things are put in place, and you know that you're living your best life, and you know that all the things in life don't have to be so hard as they already are. So how do we continue to look for the things that we miss? Well, the best way is by talking openly with me on the show, putting questions out there on my email, permissionmission.com, going to the WWDBTV.com Facebook website, and also any inquiries or any questions that you may have personally, even if they're scary ones, even if they're simply about someone you've lost. I give you permission to do that, because let's not have it have so much control over us in such a way that we just miss the boat about living, because people think that I just talk about dying, but the reality is I talk about our life well lived, no matter how many days that we get or how many years that we get. It's simply just about living and knowing to be able to be prepared for when the day comes. that it's our day. I wanted to, we accept our own mortality, and that'll bring awareness to accepting another's. So let me just say that again. As I have accepted my own mortality and the responsibility to it, I've been more comfortable with you. I every week come in here, face my fears, and just openly say, look, let's keep talking. Last week's show was about how to open the communication between the two groups, people who have lost and then people who haven't yet. And the answers lie in the middle. So being able to accept my own mortality is helping me be more comfortable and confident and not embarrassed to talk to people about their mortality, because I already have it here. So I know that it's okay to help you through it. The feedback I get constantly from families who I have helped make arrangements in advance for both their funeral services and their cemetery services is always the same. Thank you. It's made a difference. I don't worry about it anymore. I don't even think about it anymore. And you know what? One couple who'd been married for many years, many, many, many years, I think it was 68 years, they said that it was the last piece of the puzzle that had been missing in their marriage, and now they know that the puzzle is completely full. So I don't think you can get any sweeter than that, just knowing that it's a part of life. It's that one little missing piece of, you know how many of us have done puzzles, right? All of a sudden there's one piece of puzzle missing, and it's frustrating, and then you finally find it, and then you've got the beautiful full picture. No different for this conversation in all of our homes across the world, so that we can feel okay about this and not be afraid of it. So I've got a beautiful so before we go to a break here in a couple minutes, I did want to let you know of some of the benefits of us talking about mortality and us not missing the point anymore. Some of the things that have helped me is I have more urgency. Talking with that gentleman in the park today, I would have walked by him many, many times. I'd walk past people, not even giving them a time of day, because after all, I work hard. I've got my kids, I've got my grandkids, I've got my dog, got to get taken care of, and I need to get to work. I don't do that anymore. I have urgency with people. I want to know if they want to talk with me, I'm open. I want to talk with them back. And I don't know about you, that may not be comfortable for you, but maybe it's something else. Maybe it's about putting a trust into place or a will. Maybe it's about forgiving yourself, lessen the burden of the guilt for something that happened a long, long time ago that really doesn't even matter today, simply because all we have is today. We hear that it's cliche, but when you're talking about mortality every day for just a few seconds a day, it's different. You will forgive people quicker. You'll forgive yourself. You'll get on with the business of living. Talk to those family members that you haven't spoken to in a while. I was guilty of this. I didn't reach out to a couple family members because I simply just thought, yeah, I don't know what to say to them. I don't know much about them. They don't call me. Well, the phone goes both ways. I really loved when my father had said that to me. The phone goes both ways. And I got to happily remind him one day, hey, Dad, I've been calling you a lot lately. The phone goes both ways. He got a chuckle out of that one. Set that trip up. Make the plans. Go on the trip. I just talked to a couple about a week ago, and they are planning a cruise again. With COVID, things shut down. People kind of stopped traveling. They stopped dreaming about those vacations that they had thought about before retirement. And now they're taking the trips. So book that trip. Get out of town. Go see the world. It's a beautiful place, especially when your eyes are open. But make sure, again, that you got some things. We have a wonderful travel protection. I talked about that in earlier shows. Be prepared. Just think about the whole picture here, not just ourselves, but our family, our loved ones. Write a book. Write a book. There's a book in every one of us, from what I'm told. Sit down, put the pen to the paper, or today it's even easier. You can actually speak into your phone. It can put all the words together, and before you know it, you'll have that book that you've been only talking about, and you'll have it completed and done. Or reach out to people who can help you do that. You've got a story, everybody wants to hear it. Hire a personal trainer. Personal trainers, they are the accountability partner. It's very easy to say, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to wake up and I'm going to stretch in my own home, or I'm going to do a workout video. But before you know it, the phone's ringing, the email's beeping, the phone text, you hear it, and we're distracted. A personal trainer is going to keep you on track to get you the goals that you want. So we're going to go to a quick break. Again, if you'd like to call in, please do. The number here, 702-992-3207, or also put questions into the chat. I'd love to answer them while I'm on the show live, broadcasting here with WWDBTV, and we'll be right back. Again, my name is Mary. I'll see you in a minute.
Hi, everybody. Aaron Phillips here, inviting you to join me every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. right here on Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV on my show, Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips. I bring to you the movers and shakers of Las Vegas and really all around the world. It's also fun, entertaining, silly, goofy, informative, everything you'd want to be entertained by on a Saturday, except no politics, no religion. As I said, it's designed to be a fun show. Remember, that's every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific, right here, Aaron's Hour, Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV.
Hello, my name is Mary McElhatton. I am the host of the Permission Mission Show. We air every single week on Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific time with the WWDBTV.com and also my Permission Mission Facebook page. Permission Mission is a platform that we are able to talk about mortality openly, boldly, bravely, because it is something that's happening all the time. And to know more about it is going to help every family out. Thank you for joining me again, Mary McElhatton, the host for the Permission Mission Show. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Permission Mission Show. My name is Mary McElhatton. I am your host today, and we are talking about things in life that we purchase that sometimes we miss seeing something when we purchased it, and later kind of second guess ourselves about how did we miss that? Geez, I would have never thought. I shared in the beginning of the show that my husband and I were out looking for a single story home. We purchased our dream home. It had the beautiful blossom cherry tree. It had the full tree in the front with great shade. And then just a couple months later, we obviously, the truth revealed itself. And there was no leaves or no cherries on the tree. And I personally had to pick up a lot of those cherries and was not a happy camper. However, once we got through all of that, it's still our beautiful dream home. We just know now to look more at the foundation of things, kind of look inside of things, ask more questions about what we're going to purchase, and make sure that we just kind of know what we're getting into. Because I've purchased a lot of things that I wish I could take back, however, I still have them, and hopefully they'll be serving some purpose later on down the road. We are talking about how to bridge this gap between life and loss, promising value to both sides. So talked about things that are overlooked, for instance, like the leather football. We don't think about the football when the Super Bowl was won. We think about all the people When we're with families, we're thinking about the people. We're not thinking about mortality. We're not thinking that one day they will not be sitting in front of us, or we may not be sitting in front of them. So how do we get more urgent about the things that are in life? Carrying out a dream. This is my dream, was to actually find something that all of us had in common. I remember being 6 years old on the playground, and when it came time for somebody to pick somebody for a team of relay, I was the kid that wasn't picked. It didn't feel so great. I was wondering, what do they have I don't have? I don't get this. Aren't we all a team? World doesn't always show up that way. So my point is that I wanted to find something that everybody had in common, where there were no teams to be picked, where it was just simply all of us got along together and all of us were able to just help and encourage one another to be the best version of ourselves and to live this crazy, crazy thing called life the best way that we can while we have it. Because losing siblings early on in my childhood, I realized right away that life doesn't last forever. And if we don't have to waste some time, let's live more on purpose and on point. So that's what I've been doing over the last 10 years. I've been talking about permission mission. I've been openly discussing mortality and death and dying with people on a day-to-day basis, as well as educating myself and my family so that there are no unanswered questions, because we're able to talk about it today with a little bit more ease. It takes some time. Please know that you may open up the conversation in your own home and you might get a little bit of pushback. Just stick with it. Just know that that's going to be the deal for a little while. It's been silent for many, many, many years. So it's not a marathon, right? It's a journey. Let's just one step at a time. But by watching this show and getting more comfortable hearing about mortality and things that are involved with it, you will too feel more comfortable as you accept your own, decision, your own mortality. One day that will happen. You'll be more comfortable with talking about mortality with other people, and they will appreciate it. I'm serious. That saying about don't tell people how much you care, but show them how much you care. I think that this is actually the best conversation to truly show one another that you care, is to have it while you can and have it together. So you tell me, what is most important in your life before you die? What is it that you want to do that you've only talked about and that you just have been missing either the point of it, or you're missing the opportunity of it, or you're simply just kind of caught up into life and living day to day and kind of being on autopilot and just surviving and not really thinking about, well, if I were to go today, did I do something that was important to you, to me, to them, to they? There was a gal, I remember the evening I was watching, my husband and I really enjoy watching America's Got Talent. And there was this beautiful young woman who came out on the stage, and she was there alone. She had no support. Typically, those people on that show have worked very hard to get there, and they have family there to support them. This young lady had no family there, and she came on her own, and she had the confidence that I never witnessed in somebody in her circumstances. Her name is Jane. You may have seen her as well. She was known as the night. She was known as the night bird, and she had a dream of singing all over the world to inspire people to literally live their best life. Now, her song she wrote was a song written about her last year of life. So what that meant was she knew that her time would be coming soon. She was battling cancer, and they were doing everything they possibly could. This woman was not going to give up, and she went alone on America's Got Talent and sang the song that she had written about her last life. Check it out on YouTube. Just look her up. She's called The Nightbird, and she actually received the golden buzzard. That's right. Simon gave her the golden buzzard because he was so moved by the amount of confidence and courage that she had while standing there up on that stage. And I have to guess that it has something to do with her life possibly ending soon. Just the possibility of it. And here's the deal. I may not go home today. I hope I do. I'm not fighting a sickness or cancer, but I know that I'm at risk, and so are you. And I think watching Jane get up there, knowing and understanding that her mortality was real, it gave her every bit of confidence and courage to get up there on stage, to get the golden buzzard, so that she would never be forgotten. That's the soul of a person that sometimes we miss. That's the soul of a person connecting to their soul so that they know that there's nothing holding them back. I witnessed that with my father. When he was sick in those 3 months and us talking about his mortality, some days were harder than others. At the end, though, when it was all said and done, I truly know in my heart that he had lived his best life. He said what he wanted to say. He did what he wanted to do. He made amends with people he wanted to have forgive him. And he went with peace. That's a peaceful soul. I call that a soul survivor. This woman, Jane, will always be known for the woman who was given a 2% chance to live. And her words, knowing that you have 2% to live is way better than 0%. So it was enough to get her up there on that stage and fulfill her dream and truly inspire millions of Americans all over the world. I've seen her story. I listen to her songs. Her legacy lives on. And someone who had the courage to face the reality of her day coming sometime soon and sharing with the world what that meant to her by not being afraid of it and by actually doing what she wanted to do and carrying out her dream actually involved a lot of people to get on to be her support system. She had people all over the world supporting her, giving to her, loving to her. And you know what? She lived longer than what they expected based on her diagnosis. So she said it was important for everyone to know that I am so much more than all of the bad stuff that happens to me. And her song was titled, It's Okay. It's okay. And it was, again, about the last year of her life and things that she stood up for, and she truly fulfilled her dream. I just wrote a little thing here that just said she was a woman who connected with her death so truly that she stood for her life. And I want to learn from her. I want to help others hear that statement. And just together, we can not be afraid. There are so many things in the world that keep us in fear. And this shouldn't be one of them. If we have family to love, love them fiercely. If we have a dream, love it fiercely. And just go for what is most important to you. And keep sharing, get out there on the stage and keep sharing so that other people can come to you and support you and help you. Like what I'm doing here, I hope to speak to somebody today who's been holding out. And I'm speaking to myself too, because sometimes it's easier to hold out than it is to just go all in. But today, we're all going all in with this topic because we can. Next week on the show, I'm going to have a beautiful woman. She has a wonderful story of how she got into doing the work that she does today. Her name is Susan Howe. And what she does is she's with the Nevada Guardianship Services. Some people are, they're asked to be a guardian, but yet they don't know what to do. It just simply kind of gets in their lap and they're like, whoa, I'm not sure what to do with this. Susan's going to be able to share with you what to do with it. Sometimes we get to our vintage years. I'm vintage. Anybody over 50 is vintage. Okay. We're vintage, not old. It's vintage. I like the word. It just sounds better. So sometimes, with our Medicaid or Medicare and all of that, we have a lot of questions. There's a lot of vintage people sitting in their homes, not sure of what to do if they have no family or friends or just somebody that they can assign to help with their affairs after they've passed away. Susan's got solutions for you, and I'm going to have her here on the show. So with that, I just want to thank you again for tuning in to the WWDBTV, getting braver with the conversation of mortality, bringing it into your homes, into the workplaces, and not holding out anymore on your dreams. I'll leave you with the 5-second rule I talk about on each of the shows. Very important. It does help ground us in our foundation. We are the foundation of ourselves. Helping people just share a little bit more space on the road. Mortalities on the road happen daily. And if we just are more aware of it, we'll be more apt to look out for ourselves and others. So the 5-second rule is, the first one is favor. Second is inside. It's favor inside. We're all important, and so are you. And then value everyone and everything. It's the 5-second rule. It grounds me each and every day, and it does actually bring a smile on my face, because I'm like, my feet hit the ground and I have another day to go at this. I have another day to make it a little bit better and figure this thing out again that we all call life, knowing that one day it'll end to our passing. So thank you, Mary McElhatton with Permission Mission, airing every single Friday at 11 a.m. on the WWDB TV. See you next week.